Hi, my name's Alban and welcome to our podcast. I am joined here today by two of my co-founders, best friends, and we're excited to have you guys on board. Hans, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Hans Nelson, and my friend off camera.
Hi, Kevin M. Schaefer. Nice to meet you.
That's a good voice there, Kev.
I've been working on my radio voice.
We're excited to get this podcast going. I was running around one day and I called Hans and I was like, Hans, there's about 3.2 million podcasts out there. You know what the world needs?
Another podcast?
Yeah.
About as much as they need another consulting firm, to tell you the truth.
This is why we're all here today. We're excited to get this going. The idea behind this was, hey, we're living through some interesting times. And we've lived through some interesting times. And as we looked around, we're like, you know what? Maybe it'd be worth putting this thing together and sharing some of our learnings, some of our things with people. And I don't know, get another podcast in the market.
I mean, here's the thing. We've seen some things. We started a company. Before we started a company, we worked together at a couple of different stops. It's been a fun run. We've seen some highs, some lows, even in this organization. Yeah. And I feel like some other people could benefit from our wisdom.
I'd like to call it a roller coaster.
It's a roller coaster for sure. Yeah.
Sometimes, multiple times a day. Kev, how was your week this week?
You know, Alban, there's no week I look more forward to in this world than when audit week, month-end close, quarter-end close, all end on the same week. It's been fun.
It's been lovely.
It's been great.
How do you find the time to be here?
This is I wouldn't miss this for the world.
I got to be honest. I didn't think we'd get to audit until the 40th episode. So
I think we just lost.
Foreshadowing.
I think right before this, we were the #1 trending podcast in Kosovo, and we just lost everyone.
We'll do our best to bring all those listeners back.
Well, I got to tell you, what's fun is you all are let behind the curtains a little bit. This is how we spend most of our time in this office together.
This is our actual office.
Talking about work, talking about business, talking about life. I mean, this is how we operate every day.
It is. And in fact, we've become friends, family at this point, but it's not how we all met.
Yeah. So what's the goal of the podcast, Alban? What are we trying to get across?
Well, we have a few goals. One is share some of our learnings. 2, learn some stuff, hopefully as future episodes we engage with people. And 3, have some fun in the process as we navigate some turbulence, both economical times as well as just the technology trends and what's going on in the world and why we exist in the first place as an organization. We thought it'd be worth sharing with people.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to have the conversations. Kevin, what are you most excited about?
I'm excited just to to hang out with you guys, to hang out with whatever guests we have on the program as we continue forward and share some of the fun things we've learned along the way.
Awesome.
I'm excited for Kevin's in a unique mood today. I'm excited for people to get to know the real Kevin as they go through this. Hans, tell us a little bit about yourself and just an intro and background and about you.
Yeah, sure. So I was born and raised in Minnesota. A lot of people wonder with the name Hans whether I came.
I thought it was Germany.
Yeah, off the boat from Germany, but no, my family's been here a long time. I grew up in Brainerd, Minnesota, home of Paul Bunyan land. So for all of you that have been there, you know well. But grew up the son of 2 special education teachers. Had the opportunity to move about 11 times in my first 10 years of life. I landed in Rockford, Illinois. Had a great time there. Ran track and cross country at Loyola Chicago. Met my wonderful wife at 23 years there. And graduated with a finance degree. My desire was to get into investment banking. I don't think I'd be alive if that was the case.
If you were in investment banking?
No, I don't think that would have worked out well. But landed in consulting, didn't even know what that was, and have had the opportunity to work in almost every industry, in every function, in several countries around the world. And I have seen some things. I also had the blessing of being part of the college recruiting process, which is where I met both you and Kevin, as you were both slightly younger than me. I know this is an audio medium, but some might be watching on film. So as the elder statesman, I'll call myself out first.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank
How about you? What's your story?
Yeah. Not the same. By the way, even though Hans has moved 11 times, that's not why our company is called Inspire 11, which we'll talk about in a moment. But that's great. And I also thought he was from Rockford until today. Alban here, born and raised in Kosovo, Eastern Europe. There was a civil war, I would say, genocide back in 1998. I was born to 2 engineer parents. War started about a mile from our house. We lived through that for about a year and a half. And then got so bad that we had to migrate to Macedonia, lived in a refugee camp. won the lottery system as they a lot of people went to the camps. We had to figure out, I guess the UN had to figure out what to do with us because the weather might change, and we won the lottery system to come to the U.S. Landed in Northwestern Indiana, and then the rest is history. And we'll talk about that. Ended up at IU and consulting, and that's how we all met in college. But very grateful to be in this country, and thank you for having me.
Kevin, less interesting story.
Yeah.
Why don't you share your roots?
My story is a little shorter. No genocide or moving around in mine. Thank goodness. Grew up in Chicagoland suburbs. Parents, mom was a school teacher, dad was an entrepreneur. Ran a trucking business here in Chicago. Went to school at University of Illinois and had the fortune to be a career consultant straight out of school, working with both Alban and Hans.
I got to tell you, for anybody listening, you won't know this, but anybody watching will notice that we don't look terribly different, but we do come from three different backgrounds, right? Some completely different backgrounds, and yet we all hit it off right away. And I think a lot of that was based on our belief that we wanted to change the world in a really positive way, right? Whether it was for our employees, for our communities, for our clients, we wanted to do things differently. I know that was the case when I met both of you. But Alban, tell me a little bit about like who was somebody that made you who you are today. Like you came over, you didn't speak the language. What's your deal?
First of all, I couldn't agree more on what brought us together. It was like this foundation of, hey, we want to do some big stuff, and we're all anchored on the right things, I think. A lot of people coming from background of craziness, a ton of people. I'm super grateful for running incredible mentors and people who helped us in the process. One that stands out from the beginning was a good gentleman named Rob Scallon. He's an incredible human. I caddied for him. Love caddying, by the way. Evan Scholar, big Evan Scholar supporter. And what I loved about Rob, and actually, this podcast will hit on some of this, is one, him and his wife immediately were like, hey, well, how can we help? I'm a caddy, barely speak English. And I learned a lot of things, but the biggest one, which was interesting, was Alban. A lot of people in this country are very fortunate, have a lot of opportunities, and they would love to help people if they just ask for help. And I appreciated that. And I've always lived on ask for help. And I think we've talked about this a lot is, you don't have to know everything, but there are people out there who are incredible and are willing to help everybody if you just ask for help, which I loved.
That's amazing.
What about you?
So kind of similar. I mean, we've been really lucky. I know I have been in my life to have unbelievable mentors. And you don't realize that when you're early in your career, right? Now that I'm 2.5 decades in, I realized just how lucky I was. And one of the reasons that we wanted to give back with this podcast is to maybe share some of those lessons. I had an early mentor in my career. His name was David Rigney. He's one of my first ever engagement managers. I was at a client up in the North Shore of Chicago, and I was crushing it. Right? I was 23. I was doing work, and I realized pretty quickly I could kind of get away and skate and still do a really good job for the client. And the funny thing was, I knew it, and the client didn't know it. But sure enough, Dave did. So I had my review, and I was expecting to get these great, like 5-star marks. And he gave me kind of a middling grade on my project. And I said, Dave, what's the deal here? I was mad. And he said, you're doing a great job by the client standards, but those aren't my standards, and those shouldn't be yours. And I know you're not doing your best work. And I was really mad. I remember driving home. I remember complaining to my wife at the time, like, I don't know if this is the place for me. And I know we'll get this into this in future episodes, but it was truly meaningful. She looked at me and she goes, well, are you? And I'm like, no, I'm kind of being lazy. I'm being complacent. I'm working my way down to their level as opposed to my level. And it was an amazing catalyst for the rest of my career, and actually led to my desire to teach and coach and mentor others, to get over the hump of, I think you bring it up more than anybody, Alban, which is we're hardwired as human beings to go after comfort, right? We want to be fed, we want to have shelter, we want to be safe, and therefore we want to be lazy, we want to nap, we want to watch TV. That all makes sense, but nothing great happens from that, right? So we need to push ourselves, we need to go after greatness, and he was a great catalyst for that. So really thankful for Dave Rigney. If you're listening, probably not. We'll get him to listen at some point. How about you, Kevin?
Wait, by the way, what an incredible lesson to learn and early in your career.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
I think we'll talk about this in the next episode too, but the idea of getting feedback
Right.
not positive.
Right. Constructive feedback.
Constructive feedback
from somebody that you respect.
someone you respect is getting, in our opinion, I think we've noticed this and we'll get about it in the next episode, is it's actually harder and harder to give feedback that may make people want to grow, and people actually may not want to hear it.
Right.
It feels like, I don't know, not always and not everyone, right? We're making blanket statement here, but what an incredible thing. Thank you. Yeah, Kev, what about you?
I don't know if there's enough tape in the tape recorder here to list all the people that shaped me, but
this is in the cloud, right?
it's we mentioned Hans was the older guy. I'm surprised he knew what the cloud was. But that being said, obviously my parents and future previous colleagues and that sort of thing. Some of the best advice I was given earlier in my career was you become most like the 5 or 10 people you surround yourself with, and so. Based on that, right, I've been very fortunate to be able to kind of surround myself with individuals in my career, right, whether, it be you two or other individuals. Many have come along on the journey with us at Inspire, to surround myself with those great people that, try and aspire to be like.
So I have to share this, and I do feel like one of the luckiest people in the world, because we do have to wake up every day and go to work with our best friends.
Yeah.
But we did meet professionally first. And what brought us together was the actually people who are, have big desires and high performers and work their butt off, is how it all came together. I remember meeting both of you. And I remember the time I met both of you, I think Hans was showing me, like, going through an orientation on what to wear to work, what not to wear to work. That used to be part of higher onboarding, on top of Go Crush It. Met Kevin in the back of a cab. I'm like, the three of us one day would be lucky enough to get together and we get to be here. But I do think a lot of the foundation of what brought us together is that grittiness that I think, whether it's mentors, whether it's family, whether it's the DNA makeup of it. I do recall this. I when we started the business Inspire, and we'll talk about it in a minute, I got the pleasure to bring both of you to Kosovo, which I'm from Kosovo, born and raised, and the families there are different, right? Different values, very, very much close-knit families and very protective, and they have different versions of the West. You guys changed their minds. And it was for Hans, being a parent. Kev's a new parent, so he wasn't a parent back then when we started the company. It was, oh my gosh, what an incredible family man. Yeah. And likewise for Kevin, what an incredible person. But it was really cool to see that my family thought you guys were Albanian for a minute.
Well, it's funny you mentioned different values, but I would argue different cultures more than that. It's almost like you pick up the same value system.
Yeah.
Like I remember, I came over there May of 2017. I think I was the first American you had brought over, and I met your uncles for the first time. Like we got off however long that flight was. And we get off the plane, they're like, want us to take us out to a meal. Neither one of them speak English.
Nope. And you speak how much Albanian?
I speak zero Albanian or Serbian or
words.
German. At the time, nothing. And me and what we affectionately call Funkle got along right away. Yeah. Like you just pick up on the spirit of people, and we had a great time.
It was watching you guys communicate with like fingers and hand gestures and the whole thing. They became best friends. By the way, I this is probably worth noting. My mom had 4 brothers, my uncles, and Hans renamed all of them.
Yeah, well, we had to.
Yeah,
right. We had Funkle, we had Drunkle, we had Yunkle. I don't know what we call the oldest one. But he kind of runs the show.
It was the funny uncle, the one we had drinks with, and
the youngest one,
and the youngest one.
That could have come to the States, actually.
What was interesting was, though, Kev, your appetite is not as.
Well, no, his appetite's good. I think it's his zest for flavor is not there.
I'm not the most adventurous eater, right? When it comes to a palate, right, mine's a little bit more limited.
His palate's the same as his child. It's buttered noodles and pizza.
Hold the toppings. It's fun to go to new regions, and certainly when we went to Kosovo, man, they rolled out that red carpet for us and treated us to all the great delicacies, many of which maybe I hadn't seen before.
Yeah, so it was incredible. All right, a little bit about our business. So we started this company back in 2016.
Yep.
All of us were career consultants. Before then, all of us were actually technically minded, right? Like self-taught coder. Hans,
I played with math.
You played with math.
Yeah.
and Kevin was on the football team. You want to tell us about that, Kevin?
That sounds like a whole nother episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, no, all of us the technical background, but we ended up in consulting. And as the world was changing, this was between 2010 to 2015, 16. A lot of things were moving. Cloud,
big
mobile,
data,
digital transformation in general, which we've been digitally transforming for a very long time.
correct.
And what really brought us together to start Inspire 11, which is our company now, was we were all kind of aligned the same way as we thought about how the world is changing and the disruption that's happening in it, and how to hopefully either help clients or take advantage of the opportunity that was in front of us.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing there, right, is a lot of people bring up the winners in that space, the Airbnbs, the Ubers, right? And they look at that as, oh, somebody had a great idea. They don't realize the 100 of chances like people took on different activities that didn't. They failed, right? So what we wanted to do is be at the forefront of helping people find the winning ideas.
100%.
And I think we were really, really, really good, even in previous lives, at being able to translate really complex, right? Engineering, data science, math, and computers still scare people.
Absolutely.
And what we wanted to do was make it simple for business audiences to understand the value that could be created if done right.
And so our entire organization was created on a few ideas and differentiators, because just like we talked about, there's 3.2 million podcasts. There's north of 1 million consulting companies out there, and we decided to create another one, which so far it's been growing and has been fun. But what we wanted to do is be disruptors, and in the world that's moving so quick, and in a world that there's always a shiny object and a shiny new tool, we had a lot of principles that were, hey, let's create this organization where, one, we're going to focus on providing people value. Two, we'll bet on ourselves and with our clients. And three, we actually want to make a change in the world as we go through it and hopefully solve some big problems.
Yeah. I mean, to be perfectly honest, we think consulting is broken, right?
100%. That's why we're
mostly
here.
from an economical perspective, but it's the thing that we always strive for our businesses to do is we should be driving forward or you're going to be eroding. You should disrupt or you're going to be disrupted. We need to disrupt our own industry as well. I don't know if we'll disrupt the podcasting industry, but we're going to give that a shot.
We're going to at least try. Yeah. I think consulting is as old as time, and the incentives have never been aligned of consultants and clients. Right? We've been living in this world forever, where even if we deliver a project perfectly and we come up with an idea and we deliver on time, on budget, and everything else goes wrong, it's the least consequential decision business in the world, which is we don't know if the clients are going to make money with it or not. We don't know if it's going to impact people's life positively or negatively. And we get to get away with it, and we wanted to flip that on its head, which is why we all came together to do what we're doing today.
Yeah, and I think there's some common themes of places that we've been at before that have led to our success that we'll want to continue on, right? So while we want to disrupt, want to innovate, it's still about being scrappy. It's still about being competitive. It's about being curious. It's about failing fast and scaling fast. It's about taking big chances, but not on everybody else's dime. Like we want to pretend that we're the owners in the businesses that we're helping out, right?
Absolutely, and that I think is what's been, and we'll get in later episodes, some of the key themes that have made us have the success that we have, and for the sake of this audience, we've had also many failures, and that's the whole concept of trying something new.
Yeah, but I think if anything from this podcast, what I want people to take away is we've been able to develop, coach, and build others that have had a ton of success out in the market.
It's been a great springboard.
Whether they've been with us or they've built their own companies or they've been with companies and they've been promoted, or whether they've been with companies and they've retired based on the solutions. And I think we have some pretty good ideas on how we can help others and hopefully have some fun along the way as well.
Absolutely.
This is getting too long for an intro episode, Kevin. Don't you think?
Don't. Let's not put our people to sleep, our listeners to sleep just yet. What do you guys think some of those topics are we're going to tackle over the next episodes?
Thank you, Kevin. That's a great question.
Thought you'd never ask.
We have a few topics coming up. The next one will be called the BMW workforce. We're very excited to dive into that one. Then we came up with creative names, including that one. It's not about actual cars, for the record. But we have a few other ones. Buy your boss lunch.
Oh, I like that one.
It should be a really good one.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah.
Winning by losing? You like that?
Oh.
Yeah, I don't do a bunch of this, the latter, but I'm sure.
I'll tune into that.
I'm sure you will.
Fear-based decisioning.
Okay.
A lot of great things have been created by being fearful and making decisions. So we're going to dive into that.
Oh, and here's one of my favorites. Complaining your way to the top.
How does that work?
My guess is going to be sarcasm, Kevin.
That's one of my favorite things I've ever learned from Hans. I used to work for Hans. And it was, hey, Alvin, I don't know if you've read anything or seen any movies, but everybody who did anything really good in this world, they complained their way to the top.
That was the key. That was the key. We might go into some other options outside of complaining your way to the top.
Yeah. I think to keep this short and simple, we're excited to dive into these topics. We're excited to have serious conversations, but the part that you should know is that we've never taken ourselves too seriously. The amount of dad jokes and puns from Kevin and Hans, like for somebody like me whose English is not the first language, I mean, it's incredible.
Actually, some of my favorites when you don't understand them, but you do understand one of my favorite takes of all time. So here it is. Like, why don't they make double stuffed Oreos regular Oreos and make regular Oreos diet Oreos? Wouldn't they sell more Oreos, Kevin?
Mind blown.
Okay.
This is what I have to listen to all day. And the two of them, I mean, like they just half the jokes I don't get. Call them joke grenades because they go off later because I don't understand them. But goodness gracious. No, it's going to be fun. It's going to be real.
No, and here's the thing: we're gonna have some reoccurring some segments. We're gonna have some guests. We've already had some people that work for us that were like, "Can we be a guest on it? Like a special guest? Like you can't be a special guest until the audience finds you special."
Yes,
so we might have some guests.
Maybe some callers.
We'll have some callers if there's listener emails that want to come in.
And one of my favorite things we introduce is this kid you came up with.
Oh, what's this?
Kevin, help us.
Kevin, help us. I can't wait for Kevin, help us. For those of you who don't know, Kevin has some takes on real world. I would vote for Kevin to be president based on some of his takes, and we will listen to some of his takes and we'll react to them. And I think you'll enjoy them as well. But we're really looking forward to getting to know you. Hopefully you enjoy. Hopefully this is worth your commute to work. And we'll see you on episode 2 of AhHa Moments.
Thank you for tuning in, all 4 of you, or how many. Have a great day.